Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to our channel, A Million Go. This platform is crafted with love by Ukrainians for the millions of our compatriots aiming to improve their English skills. My name is Yana Kozachenko, and I'm here not just as your host, but as your ally on this journey. Today we're embarking on a particularly crucial mission. This video has been specifically created in English to reach out to Ukrainians who, due to the Russian invasion of our country, find themselves in foreign lands, striving to keep standing tall and firm. It's for those brave souls who resist Russian propaganda with every fiber of their being, wielding English as their powerful tool in the global arena to champion the truth about our beloved Ukraine. Our goal today is to equip you with the knowledge and language to effectively counter the falsehoods and distortions Russia has spread about its unprovoked attack on our homeland. Let's get started. Lie number 1. Specially military operation. Let's begin with the first falsehood. Russia has attempted to downplay its literal invasion by labeling it a special military operation. This terminology attempts to belittle the severity of the situation. It's like referring to a catastrophic storm as merely a light breeze. Such a euphemism is deliberately used to obscure the grim reality of war, to make it seem less alarming than it truly is. However, the common sense of every sane person can pierce through this veil of deception, revealing the harsh truth of this so-called operation and a war in reality. Lie number 2. Demilitarization of Ukraine. Moving on to the second lie, Russia propagated the notion that its presence in Ukraine was to demilitarize the country. This narrative falsely painted Ukraine as a looming threat, as if on the brink of invading Russia, a nuclear power, no less. The reality at the onset was starkly different. Ordinary Ukrainian citizens, armed with little more than their unwavering bravery and the simplest of weapons, stood in defense of their homes and nation. The absurdity of Ukraine being a significant threat crumbled in the face of evident truth. The world witnesses who the real aggressor and a real threat to global security is. The third major deception we need to address is the claim of Denazification of Ukraine. Under this guise, Russia attempted to frame its invasion as a noble crusade against supposed Nazis from the Second World War era lurking within Ukraine. This couldn't be further from the truth. The label Nazi has been misused by Russia to attempt to justify its unwarranted military aggression towards Ukraine. However, such accusations fall flat against the reality of Ukraine's vibrant democracy, where a multitude of political parties thrive and extreme right-wing factions have negligible support. The international community, too, has seen through this facade. In July 2022, almost 50 countries at the United Nations openly dismissed Russia's reasons for its invasion as baseless.
L1 entitled Aggression Against Ukraine. Will all delegations confirm that their votes are accurately reflected on the screen?
On the opposite, Russia's actions have mirrored those of historical dictatorships, from suppressing free speech to persecuting and even killing opposition leaders, and even striking memorials with missiles, action reminiscent of the very Nazis they claim to oppose. Lie number 4. It's a local proxy war. The narrative that the conflict in Ukraine doesn't matter to African countries, for instance, is wrong. Beyond the Ukrainian grain that many African nations depend on,
Fatuma Adan Kuso and her 2 children are among 900,000 people displaced by drought in Somalia. She's carried her children for more than 300 kilometers to reach humanitarian aid provided by the UN.
This is the beginning, we hope, of more normal operations. The food of Ukraine fed 400 million people across the world last year.
Ukrainian universities, where thousands of African students study, and various beneficial collaborations that exist or could develop, there is more at stake. Russia's actions in Ukraine break many international laws and the fundamental rule of how countries should interact. Specifically, the UN's declaration that supports the independence of colonized nations says trying to break up a country or take over its land goes against everything the United Nations stands for. Russia's conduct in Ukraine challenges these core values and threatens the stability not just in the region, but globally. Lie number 5. Ukraine has nuclear ambitions. Ukraine is not developing nuclear weapons. It stands among the unique nations that willingly relinquished its nuclear arsenal. By joining the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons in 1994, and by 1996, all nuclear weapons had been removed from its territory.
The document, signed by the leaders of Ukraine, Russia, the UK and the US, required Ukraine to give up its nuclear weapons stockpile. In exchange, world powers promised to respect Ukraine's existing borders and sovereignty.
The false claim that Ukraine is acquiring nuclear capabilities primarily served Russia's interests, allowing it to disregard its commitments under the Budapest Memorandum. This 1994 agreement signed by Ukraine, the United Nations, Russia, and the United Kingdom provided Ukraine with security assurances. Specifically, it guaranteed that Russia would honor Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and existing borders, and would not use weapons against Ukraine except in self-defense or as permitted by the UN Charter. Lie number 6. Ukraine is a failed, false state. The biggest lie might be saying Ukraine isn't a real country. This ignores Ukraine's long history and strong spirit. Putin often talks about the idea that Russians and Ukrainians are same people. This old idea from the time of the Russian Empire has been used to say Ukrainians can't have their own language, culture, history, or even be their own country. But just like every country, Ukrainians can decide for themselves who they are. They say loud and clear, we are not the same as Russians.
He doesn't know me.
Just talking about you in general. Russians as a people.
I'm not Russian. I'm Ukrainian.
Excuse me.
Not excused. We're different people. We're different here and here.
When the Soviet Union ended in 1991, a huge 90% of people in Ukraine chose to be an independent country. They are saying no to Russia's control and lies, and the whole world is listening. Seeing all these lies, the world knows about Ukraine's bravery and strong will to stay free. Through its propaganda, textbook manipulations, and cultural imperialism, Russia has tried to cement its distorted view of the past, erasing completely Ukraine's sovereignty and identity in the process. But history cannot be so easily rewritten. These falsehoods are more than just words. They are weapons used in the information war against Ukraine. But knowledge is power, and we together, armed with truth and clarity, can stand strong against such deception. Thank you for joining us today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and never stop seeking the truth. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more insights and support in our journey towards a brighter, informed future. Дякую і слава Україні!